What is the average time that it takes for the average tattoo? But then the thing is, what's an average tattoo? What size and how long does it take? Does it depend on how much details in the tattoo and all the rest of it?
Yeah, I'd say an average tattoo is like a palm-sized tattoo, to be honest with you. So you're looking at about maybe 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on the detail that's inside the tattoo.
Something that's palm size.
Yeah, about palm
You
size.
said it depends on the detail.
Yeah, so detail, color, style, because if it's writing, it's a lot different than if it's like an animal's face.
Which one's harder?
Do you know what? For me, I prefer an animal's face because you can hide a lot of discrepancies inside an animal's face rather than in a name. If like if two E's don't look the same, everybody knows. Everybody knows.
Have you ever encountered that? Some mistakes where the person's just like, oh yeah, nah, that doesn't look, that E looks different from the other E that you put on my arm.
Yeah, of course. Like half of tattooing is learning how to salvage your mistakes, or in fact, there's no mistakes in art. I think that's the saying. There should be no mistakes in art. But when it comes to script, writing tattoos, woof,
I can imagine.
woof. I've got to the point where I tell my client, listen, I'm sorry, I don't specialize in script. Like that's how you save yourself, to be honest. Like I tell them straight, I prefer to do an image. I prefer to make like a face, you know. I specialize in black and grey, in particular. Okay. So yeah, definitely look for somebody that will specialize in something, somebody that can tell you what they specialize in, you know.
Fair enough. Yeah. But that's 2 to 3 hours of a palm-sized detailed tattoo. How do you stay so like focused and concentrated? I can't lie, I can't. 2 or 3 hours? Nah, that's not me.
Do you know what? It's almost like a meditation, you know? I've been practicing focus for a long time. Like since the days I used to play Pokemon games. You know, like when you used to walk through the tall grass in Pokemon Red and Yellow and all of that? Yeah. I feel like I've been training my focus ability since then. And it's just patience. You turn your mind off to the world. Nothing matters but you and the tattoo in front of you. That's what I'm saying to myself anyway.
So it's almost therapeutic in a sense.
Oh, it's definitely therapeutic. Like I can be going through the craziest things, but when I'm in front of my tattoo, the only thing that matters is the tattoo.
I was gonna say, similar to haircuts, I know they're not exactly the same, kind of artistic in a way, but when I'm obviously giving someone a shape up or a fade, sometimes I will zone out, but obviously it doesn't take as long, but I still have to be concentrated. I find nowadays as well, on YouTube and sometimes even on like social media like Instagram or maybe even Twitter, I'll find myself watching haircut videos and watching the transformation from basically rough hair or no hair, a lot of hair to a perfect fade. So it is very therapeutic, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Even I do that. Like I cut my own hair sometimes, but yeah, even I will, because it's all art. Like I love the process of art, and I like to make process videos. I like for people to see what it takes for us to do what we do, you know? Definitely. So I definitely agree with you on that one.
Do you feel like either watching, maybe something as simple as watching tattoo videos or watching haircut videos can somehow lead to, because I said therapeutic, and somehow lead to just being stress relief? Because you said it helps you get out of a feeling of feeling maybe down or bad or something's happened, but when you're with your, with your needle and when you're giving someone a tattoo, it completely helps your mental state.
I always say to people that there's 2 of me, you know? Like there's the tattoo Raph, doctor, and then there's Raph, you know? Just a normal Raph, very emotional, very, very, very wild when I want to be. But when I'm tattooing, I'm level. Like there's no...
So the complete opposite.
Yeah, like my level is very flat. Like I even had people tell me that there's no emotion in my voice or anything, and I'm just thinking, well, yeah, I'm trying to be as professional as possible. You know how like when a surgeon comes with the apron and the mask? Yeah. If my client dies on the operating table, unfortunately, it was God that took you. You know what I mean? That kind of emotion.
Yeah. No, I get it. And at the end, there's that feeling of achievement. It's almost like when you finish a gym session or when you finish a long run, you didn't want to do it in the first place, or something happened before that. Now that you've gone in it, that feeling of satisfaction, especially when the customer says, "Thank you very much," or they just love what you've done, basically.
Definitely, that is, yes, it's very self-gratifying when a customer tells you, yes, this is better than what I wanted, this is exactly what I asked for, this is for me, and then they're telling you they're going to come back and everything, and you see them come back as well. Like, it does something for the spirit. It definitely does something for the spirit. I feel tattooing has definitely fulfilled me in the sense that it's given me, it's almost like it's made me whole, you know, like it's made me feel like I'm contributing enough to the society.
I was gonna say, how did you stay focused, or how did you even continue doing what you're doing, especially through lockdown? Because I know it's a bit difficult for us artistic people to stay focused, and I know it's played, obviously, the pandemic and all the rest of it hasn't helped anything, but how have you managed to stay level-headed and just get through it, basically? Have you used tattooing to almost help you go through it? And
I've done a lot more training through the lockdown. When I say training, I mean training of my apprentices.
Oh, okay.
So my apprentices use like a fake skin, and yeah, it's not the same as skin, but you have to get into that same zen, that same meditation mode in order to really get your work to come out. So even when I'm training my apprentices, I show them the same level of focus. Like, I'm really there with them. I'm really taking part in their growth. You know, like I've got this particular apprentice, Delphina. Because we've worked hard together all the way through the lockdown, as soon as the lockdown comes off, she's ready to tattoo. And this is somebody that came to me not knowing how to do anything. Like, she didn't even know what machines were called or anything like that.
And now she's
almost a pro.
A Jedi with the needle.
That's right. She's already booked. She's already got a client booked in and everything.
Jeez, well, that's good, man. So, bro, as you know, there's a lot of social media presence in almost any industry, let's call it. So even when I do look at barbers, there's certain ones that have been doing it for a long time and they're up here, let's call it. But I've made the mistake. I'm not personally that kind of person, but I've made the mistake of sometimes comparing myself to these people in terms of tattoo artists, because I do see some pages about studios and tattoos. How do you stay so focused on yourself, and do you compare yourself to other people at all?
I think what works for me is being in competition with myself. Like, I've learned that I'm my worst enemy and my best friend at the same time.
I like that.
Yeah. I do have an artist that inspires me to be great. And yeah, I'm not gonna say that I've never like gone and looked at his work, because his work does humble me. And then it just makes me constantly look at my own page, if anything, if I do look at social media at all. Like, I just keep looking. In fact, not even just my social media page. What I do is I scroll through the photos in my phone.
Your own work, basically.
Yeah, my own work, and I basically benchmark myself. I look at stuff that I did back in 2010, I think it was. I look at stuff 2015, and you know, I just compare myself to myself. You know, like I said, I'm my own worst enemy and my biggest critic and my best friend. It helps me stay grounded, because if I look at too many pieces of artwork, it might demotivate some people, you know. I think that's what you're saying.
Yeah, no, definitely, because again, I'm not the kind of person that compares usually, but you do sometimes get caught up in looking at other people's work. But I like that, because obviously, again, if I was to try and get into being a tattoo artist, for example, listening to something like that would definitely motivate me to take my time, just focus on my own progression, be my own worst enemy, but my own best friend. I like that, because normally it's just I'm my own worst enemy and it stays there. with you my own best friend as well, my number one fan.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, you have to like pat yourself on the back. Like I think one of my apprentices is like teaching. Maybe you should try teaching, because teaching is so fulfilling. Like you will learn so much about yourself when you try and teach somebody else what you know. It's crazy. And like I was saying, one of my apprentices told me like, wait a minute, like, you know, you've taken leaps from where you used to be. Like, you know, you have to.
Is that what they said to you?
No, just in terms of my art, because some of them have been watching me for a long time. So they've said to me like, look at where you've come from and look at where you are now. Like, you know, it's all right to tell yourself you're doing well, you know? Like, that's one thing in particular. Like, take the time to be like, yeah, do you know what?
I've accomplished a lot.
Yeah, like, you've gone from not being able to finish a whole tattoo in one day to being able to finish a palm-sized tattoo in one day, clean, easy. The client feels no pain. The client's ready to book another tattoo there and then, you know? It's just little benchmarking things like that.
That's a good way to look at it, actually. Yeah, definitely. When I'm the kind of person as well, similar to yourself, that sees my progress. So the first trim that I gave my son, I thought it was really good. Sent him to school like that. And when I look back at the pictures, bro, it was like 2 circles on his head, no fade. And it looked like I put a plate and cut around it, and another plate, a bigger plate and cut around it. That was a fade. And I compared that now to the trims that he gets now from me. He obviously doesn't appreciate it. I always say it every time. But looking at the progress, yeah, sometimes I do sit back and think, you know what, I've come a long way, and I'm still trying to learn. I still watch other videos, and I still use that as therapy and also a way of learning. But then I also try to hone in on my own craft as well. Definitely. Like I appreciate what you said, man.
Never stop learning. Like, there's always something to learn. Like, the humble man is always going to be first place in the long run in the long race, you know. Like, you always take the time to, you know, really pat your own back, tell yourself you've done well. Like, there's nothing wrong with that at all. Always take the time, as well as knocking yourself, saying, "Oh, you could have done better. You could have done better." Look at the stuff that you are happy with. There's obviously something you've taken a picture of that you've done that you're like, yeah. That is,
I've done well.
you know.
No, that's fair, bro. No, I appreciate it. I'm basically finished. Just giving it the once over. It's not too bad. Let's double check. What do you think?
Ooh.
Yeah?
Yeah, no, difference there, you know. Look at that.
Sweet, bro. Looking like a good man. Raph, it's been a pleasure. Can't lie.
Yeah, definitely.
Take care, man.
Love my guy.
When people say like having a little girl makes you a better person, the way I look at their experience and what they go through is like mad different now. Like, I don't take it for granted as much, and
There's more respect, basically, as well.
yeah, like, not that I didn't respect them before, but I think as men we just take it for granted that like women kind of go through what they go through, and that's that. But even though she's going to be 8 months soon, just so much about like how they are that I wasn't aware of. And to be fair, it's only made me a better person, if I'm being honest. Like, I think she's made me a lot softer, a lot more sensitive, beneficial for her, but also for my wife as well. So